Hello ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and I am bringing you some more coverage from the Heritage League, and now we are finally done with the group stages with Boxer and Yellow coming out of Group A, and Savior Nada coming out of Group B. In Group A we saw Boxer 4-0 his group taking the top seed, and Yellow going 2-2, but with his victory against Anytime he wins the tiebreaker and advances to the semifinals. In Group B we saw Savior and Nada both 2-0 their group to start with I Love OV, of course, missing from this tournament due to illness. And in that final game of the group stages, Savior took down Nada, so Savior gets the top seed from Group B, Nada gets the second seed, so Nada's going to have to play Boxer here. Boxer, who has looked very, very good in this tournament so far, 4-0ing his group rather impressively in most of the games, I have to say. He did look very, very good. But still, he is contending with Nada, who is probably the most active gamer out of everyone here right now in this tournament, and also probably the most accomplished gamer in the history of StarCraft. Although, of course, Boxer is Boxer and has accomplished so much in terms of the game, the sport itself. Nada, just with his victories and just the number of medals he has, can probably have a bigger showcase than even Boxer. And this is going to be on a game on Outsider. Nada's going to start at the 12 o'clock position, and Boxer will be at the 9 o'clock position. Nada in yellow at the 12, Boxer in green at the 9, and I think I may have said that wrong, but that's okay. Now we got it all cleared up. But yeah, this should be very, very intense game. Boxer's really going to have to play to really the best of his ability to really take down Nada. Nada has been just such a good player even in recent years, whereas Boxer has been more or less inactive for the most part in the last year or so. He is on SKT1, returned to SKT1 after his time in the military and his time in Air Force Ace finished and completed, and there was some fear that Air Force Ace might actually might struggle to survive without Boxer, but they are doing fine, it appears, and they are still playing and still doing and still going to be competing, at least in the Pro League. Some of their players are allowed to go to the OSL and the MSL. Sometimes, I believe last season or 2 seasons ago, they weren't even allowed to go to the prelims, unfortunately. But Air Force Ace is still around, even without Boxer. But yeah, this should be... I'm really excited to see this game. Both players are going to play very, very standard here at the beginning. You do see sometimes in Terran versus Terran, one player will go for might go for a cheese build or something like that, but no, not here. Both these players are going to play very, very standard. We'll see whether one of them decides to go with Vultures to start, or if they both wait for siege tanks. Not, of course, very, very good with his Vulture play, called the Tornado Terran, just because of how incredible his Vulture micro and his use of Vultures to harass opponents' bases and just get many, many worker kills, where even players who are ready for it and are trying to defend against it and know it's coming, still unable to defend against Nada's genius play. And that's one of the things that Nada's really known for. Boxer has a winning record in his TVT, but he has, for the most part, been known for his TVZ, absolutely destroying his opponents in TVZ over and over again throughout history. Even now, his TVZ is quite good. If you watch the Boxer versus Yellow game, he really showcased some high-quality play against Yellow, even resorting to some little bit of a showmanship tactics at the end against Yellow, embarrassing him a little bit. And both these players are doing pretty much complete mirror builds, throwing down their factories at the exact same time. It looks like Nada's going to get a scout off first, also sending out a Marine just to make sure he gets an efficient scout and knows where Boxer is. But Boxer was able to wall off, put up that supply depot and finished it, and Nada's not going to be allowed to scout. And at the same time, I don't think Boxer's going to be able to get a scout in either. It looks like Nada has walled off it as well. But that Marine and that SCV, he can try and be a little bit annoying, I suppose, but it's not likely to be effective yet. He's going to be able to pick at the supply depot a little bit, but it's just not... This is just to really annoy Boxer more than anything else. It's not going to really do too much damage, I don't think. And Boxer, I'm sure, is not really worried, unless for some reason he thinks there might be like proxy barracks or something, but that's not the case, and it doesn't look like Boxer's going to be overreacting or anything like that. Although Boxer, okay, Boxer throwing down 2 starports, throwing down 3 starports here at his back base, throwing down 3 starports. This is going to be a whole lot of rates, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a ton of rates coming out for Boxer. We saw him against Toscroll playing in the group stages, play very, very well with his Wraith micro. With only 1 starport, he was able to take down Toscroll's 2 starports worth of Wraiths. Granted, Toskgirl is nowhere near the player that Nada is, Nada being so accomplished and so good in so many ways, but Nada could be in some trouble here if he doesn't suspect that this is coming, because it's not traditional for Terran players to get turrets up in TVT, nor is it traditional for them to get Goliaths up all that early. So this could be very, very devastating against Nada if Nada does not prepare at all, because all he'll have is maybe a couple of Marines, and that's about it. 3 starports is certainly a huge investment for Boxer. He's going to need to do a lot of damage in this game. If he doesn't do a lot of damage, he probably will just fall behind way too much. But now we're seeing Nada's first-person perspective, and it looks like he's just researching siege tech here. Absolutely no anti-air. He's got 2 Marines, really, for anti-air. Might be producing a 3rd, but that is just so little and just nowhere near enough. I'd like to see what that building is in the top right. I don't know what building it actually was. He also just finished his command center, so he's going to be floating that to his natural expansion. And Boxer also throwing up a control tower now as well, so he'll be working towards towards some cloaking, and the scan for Nada still hasn't even started. He is working on his academy right now. That should be coming up any moment now. So he will have scan probably about the same time, maybe even before cloaking is done. And somehow, some way, Nada throwing up an armory. So if he so that is going to be really advantageous to him, that he already has his armory up, and he's not going to be hastily throwing it up. He's going to be able to produce Goliaths, so he might actually be able to fend this off against Boxer. It only takes a couple of Goliaths along with some well-placed and well-timed scans to really do a ton of damage. And we'll see how Boxer's Wraith Micro is. We have seen Lita in the past with some incredible Wraith Micro, able to treat them almost like Mutalisk, bouncing back and forth, swooping in and out, and just picking off SCVs or Marines in huge bunches. Although Boxer's Wraith Micro looking a little bit sloppy here, not looking particularly impressive. He's not doing terrible with it, but he's not doing all that great with it either. And both those Wraiths are actually almost dead, so he's going to have to wait for some reinforcing Wraiths before he can really continue his harassment. And here comes the 3rd